All right, here. The $21 million game is dying 2 months after launch. We're talking about what game? It's a stinker. Recently found this button again. Probably be using it a lot. It's Dual Universe. I announced this game dead. I don't know how long ago now. Subscription games, man, there's a positive and a negative to it. There's a good side and a bad side. Subscription games keep the kiddos out. That's the positive. Subscription games are for hardcore gamers that love the game. That's subscription-based games do that. But on the flip side, it's terrible for adoption. It's terrible for bringing a large gamer base to it. And so it is a love-hate relationship I have with subscription-based games. The one that comes to mind the most, besides Dual Universe, is EVE Online. And let me tell you, I put 10 years of my life into that game. 10 years of my life into EVE Online. Loved it. Still do. But Pearl Abyss ruined it. It's all about the DLC. It's all about the cash. It's a cash grab now. EVE Online, I announced that dead. It was sad to do. I announced that dead almost a year ago. I said EVE Online's dead. In fact, listen, it will live on, but it's nothing what it used to be. It's nothing what it used to be. Not even close. It's not even a facsimile of the game that I remember. It's so far off from what it was, which was greatness. It's a sad thing. You can tell there's no more passion in it. There's no more heart in the game. Dual Universe is another game where I'm really upset about. Nova Quark, the developers of Dual Universe, have completely botched this one up every step of the way since their CEO left. The heart left. The passion, the vision, the guy behind it was gone, and everything tanked. Their economy had some serious potential. Their crafting system, still some of the best ever. I love their crafting. I love Dual Universe crafting. If anything is alive in Dual Universe, it's the crafting. But the trading and the market and the wonderful, what I was hoping for was going to be a dynamic, thriving economy is dead. They squashed it. When the new mining rigs came out that essentially increased supply to the point where it's infinite, where you're bringing out ore in copious amounts, you've royally effed up the supply and demand that is essential for having a thriving, natural, organic economy, and you've replaced it with a fake one. You literally have a fake economy, and that is why I say the Dual Universe is dead. One of the reasons, just one. There's a lot of reasons why. Now, Big Fry is going to talk about Dual Universe. Let's see what he has to say.
6 years ago, I released a video titled The Most Ambitious Kickstarter Ever, in which I covered a game called Dual Universe being developed by Nova Quark. Dual Universe is a sci-fi MMORPG that touted an ever-sprawling centralized universe, completely editable by its players using voxel-based technology, in which everything in the game is player-made. Ships, cities,
awesome.
Orbital stations with no limits on size, including a full economy. The
economy was the best part, The PvP sucks. The PvP sucks balls. There's nothing about the PvP that's entertaining. Nothing. The PvP is trash.
Stories, politics, and warfare, which were all player-driven. They also claimed that they have created the technology to allow thousands of players.
By the way, this is gone. There is no more people. When I first started playing, there were people everywhere. It was so cool to see other gamers. It was so cool. It was thriving. There were people everywhere, and slowly it diminished and it diminished and it diminished. I was one of the original backers behind Dual Universe. Trust me, I was super passionate about this project, and to see it do what it did is just shameful. It's shameful. Shameful, Pepe.
Shame.
I know, dude. Good hit on that
Shame.
bell. Absolutely.
Shame.
Because now a Dual Universe is a bunch of this. It's just a bunch of crickets, man. Like there's nobody around anymore. It's empty. It's devoid of life. It's not thriving anymore. And it's exactly relatable to what happens 9 out of 10 times on games like these. The developer doesn't realize what it is that the gamers want and doesn't execute properly. It's been botch after botch.
Thousands of players within the same area
And
on
I
a
think-
single shard server.
And also, right, DEF CON, and also I think that the subscription model is a dying model. You can argue with me about it. You can disagree with me about it. Like I said, I stated the good and bad about the subscription model. But in the end, I think overall it's more bad than good because it's not bringing players to it. It's an instant paywall. Right? And some people don't want to pay that subscription. So you're instantly hitting yourself in the face. You're saying, ugh, because you're not bringing people to the game. You're not bringing people to the game. And the people that do come to the game, then you're botching it up. So the people that did decide to take the next step, usually there's no player retention because they go, oh, there's nothing like this out there. There's not a lot of people walking around. It's all crickets. And then guess what they do? They leave the game. It's Gandhi. They don't think about it again, right? Maybe once in a while they look back and they remember fondly when it was alive like I do, because we had a great organization in there. We built so many cool ships. We had a dude still who helps out our channel. And he's a super nice guy, Rocket Man. And Rocket Man had built all these Star Citizen ships in this game. So cool, man. So cool what this guy did. He built all these cool Star Citizen ships, man, and they look like them. The interiors and the outside, of course, it's in voxel-based form, but it was so cool. And all that gets wiped away. If people aren't in there to appreciate it, right? Part of building and crafting is like sharing it and actually like having people go to these places and building your own place with a thriving economy where people are coming in and buying your own ships. That was the drive. That was the heart, right? For people to come in and buy your creations. You're making something in a game and people are going to your land that you built, this cool like lot where you're putting down spaceships and you want people to come in there and enjoy it and buy these ships and have a good time. And like, there's nobody in it now. There's nobody in it doing these things, man. It just pisses me off.
Meaning no instancing, no loading, nothing. Back in 2014, Novacork had begun production on Dual Universe, accumulating venture and seed round capital to fund initial development. In 2016, they decided to go the Kickstarter route, raising 566,000 euros from 8,100 backers online. From 2017 to 2019, Novacork held multiple venture rounds, putting their total funding amount over $21 million. Back in 2016, I saw the Kickstarter trailer and I thought, this seems way too good to be true. Especially since we were coming off the heels of the launch of No Man's Sky, which if you guys remember how that game initially released, you'd understand my hesitation to jump onto the hype train of another sci-fi exploration game.
Right.
Regardless, Dual Universe's Kickstarter was successful and onto development Novacork went. The team over there would periodically release dev diaries through their Kickstarter, letting the backers know what they were up to. This led them to September 30th, 2017, where they opened the pre-alpha testing servers for the first time. Dual Universe would be in pre-alpha for over a year.
Listen, I tested this every phase. I was in this in every phase of the game. I had streams dedicated to this. Star Citizens would come in and they get pissed off I was playing Dual Universe, right? And the thing was I loved what the economy could be. I thought that the economy was going to be the best, and I was wrong. And I was wrong based on the fact that the developers just came in and fucked it right up. They just literally fucked it up. And it literally makes me feel like this. And cover your ears if you don't like profanity, but it made me feel like this.
Take a big step back and literally fuck your own face!
Like, I hope you covered your ears if you don't like vulgar profanity, but that's how it made me feel. Like when every time, every step of the way, especially the last 2 years, like it's been nothing but bad decision after bad decision. Leslie says it's too late. I'm sorry. You probably had a child sitting at a table eating apples that you sliced. And you know what, Elsie? I just threw the F word on there, and I'm sorry that your child had to hear that. And now your child's going to be saying fuck you all the time. And I feel really bad about that. I really do.
Here with the base alpha dropping in November of 2018. The updates to the game at the
We're an
time were
adult-based
adding
show.
things like scanning and
what
mining,
DG is.
piloting of vehicles, female character models, as well as crafting. A post from March of 2019 reads, following the successful launch of the alpha, we are incredibly excited to announce that we just opened a second studio in Montreal, Canada to help us accelerate the development
welcome.
of Dual Universe.
That's what I'm here
and
for.
Everything was full steam ahead with Nova Quark. Moving into 2020 and beyond, the team obviously had to work and push through the global pandemic and were constantly updating their community with posts detailing the game's development process.
And then doing
throughout
nothing
development,
and not
there were
developing.
plenty of times that Kickstarter backers were not happy. This post in May of 2022 discussed the Kickstarter physical rewards initially due in
You ran why were you
2018.
push the fart sound?
They were being delayed yet again. The manufacturing on the figurines and the collector boxes were complete, but due to increased shipping costs that were rising from the pandemic, it
There's my
became a task
partier.
to get those
What's up,
rewards
bro?
into the hands of their backers who were all over the world and have been waiting for over 6 years. However, on September 27th, 2022, Dual Universe was launched to mixed reviews, with most commenters mentioning the server-side lag, the insane amount of grinding in the game, as well as the amount of bugs that you will experience.
Listen, it wasn't as grindy as Elite Dangerous. In defense of Dual Universe, it was not as grindy as Elite Dangerous, you know. You could go at your own pace with Elite Dangerous. It's one of those games where you could just take your time and enjoy and craft and trade, and it really had a lot of potential. And you could sit for hours upon hours enjoying it. We built a huge DG360 tower. There's a lot of old Dual Universe gameplay on the channel. You should check that out if you're interested in it. I highly recommend you go check out the really early Dual Universe content where we're building things and having a good time. We have Rocket Man in there. We got Fez. Fez is in there, who's an old school member. Damon knows who Fez is. And we had a lot of fun. We had a blast playing it. There's a lot of, I think there's like 4 or 5 episodes of some Dual Universe gameplay in there where we just showed from the very beginning what we were up to and the things that we built. And the things that we built were so cool. I mean, really, we built a tower that went up into space. It was ridiculously awesome. It was probably the largest tower on Alioth, which is one of the planets. We went to Alioth because most of the trade happened on Alioth. We focused on the market centers, the market districts there. We had a wonderful plan. We are making great money as an organization. We are building things. We are having fun. And to see all that get evaporated, I feel so sorry for the people that were following me for the Dual Universe content. I feel like I let them down personally. And it's just basically bad decisions from the developer. That's really all it comes down to. Simply, it's bad decision after bad decision from Nova Quark. That's it.
On your way to the top.
They
The
killed
general
it.
consensus is that if you like Dual Universe, you really like Dual Universe. On top of that, according to certain Kickstarter backers on their comment sections, they've yet to receive any of their rewards for the game.
Oh.
It's been a rocky road for Dual.
Oh, what? What? What?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Oh, shame.
Universe, but they were finally able to release the game onto Steam. At the time of recording this video, Dual Universe has around 200 players playing with an all-time peak of 788.
Wow.
Not exactly the kind of numbers you'd like to see in a massive multiplayer universe that has raised over $21 million in funding. On top of these issues with the game itself, Nova Quark has decided to make this game a subscription-based product, a monetization model
forever, Lou,
that has
so
been
I'm
all but
surprised to
left
hear that,
behind
actually. That's a
outside of a
whole
few
nother
outliers.
conversation.
For me personally, I've always been a huge fan of subscription models, but the games had always needed a player base to support it. That leads to constant support, new content patches, and a stable ecosystem of monetization. Dual Universe currently has none of those things. After following the game for so long, I'm left with one thought. When? When will the day come that Dual Universe shuts its doors like the games I've covered recently, 9 to 5, as well as Scavengers?
I gotta give Pepe
My question
credit on
to
that
you
one.
is, have you guys even heard of Dual Universe? And if you have,
I think people
are you
have.
interested in playing a game like this?
Listen.
Leave a comment down below.
I mean, like there's simplicity to the voxels. There's simplicity to the way that the land looks, but it's very beautiful. There's a lot of it where like you're looking at it, the physics in the game. There's a lot of good points about Dual Universe. The physics, the flying, phenomenal. Like your ship reacts very realistically to different atmosphere. At your trajectories based upon your thrust, very realistic. There's a lot of realism to this game. The environments, at least in the atmosphere and the clouds, pretty awesome. But again, when it comes down to it, it's all about that gameplay. If you're a gamer, you want that gameplay. And in terms of the gameplay, it's there. I mean, it's got the crafting, but the trading, it just took a massive poop,
And while you're there, leave a like on this video and subscribe for more content
is better than
just
Minecraft.
like this. My last two videos in this style both hit over 1 million views, and it's clear that these videos are gelling with you guys, so let me know if you want me to continue with this kind of coverage.
I would love it
As
if they
for
made the
Dual
right
Universe,
decisions.
they have a long road ahead of themselves. I just don't know if they have.
When they introduced these miners and they had listen to this. Mining was actually cool. And some people don't like mining. I get it. It's repetitive. But like I'm the dude, I like to dig down. You dig tunnels, right? You're digging all these tunnels, like networks of tunnels that stayed there. The persistence, it was there. You would go down, the tunnels would be exactly the way you dug them. The ore would be gone. There was scarcity. Once the ore was mined, it was gone. It was brilliant. I loved it. But they weren't making the money to keep up with the servers. They weren't making enough money to keep up with all that data that they needed for the telemetry. And guess what they did? They didn't bank. They didn't make the money that they needed, and they couldn't afford the servers, and they shut down a lot of the capacity. And guess what they did? They reset the telemetry and made it to a new mining system. And this mining system sucks. This mining system sucks ass. You got these magic. First off, they're designed horribly. They're horrible looking. And what ends up happening is you get an infinite amount of ore. Yes, it's timed. There's going to be people that argue with me all day till they're blue in the face, but they're wrong. Listen to me. What's happening here is that you're getting an infinite amount of ore. Yes, there's time lapses between you can mine again, but essentially it's fake mining. You're putting these things on there, and you're just magically, the ore is just popping up, and you're sucking it off the surface. And they're completely negating the wonderfulness that was to dig down deep in the planets, in the moons, and mine your own ore. That whole gameplay loop is gone, and that was a big mistake. But the second thing it did is it was increased the supply. Basic supply and demand, fucking economics 101. When you do this, what you're doing is you're creating an infinite supply. The demand won't be enough to soak up all the supply, and it's a fake economy. You understand? At the very root, this is where the money comes from, the ore, the rocks. This is where the money's coming from. This is how you manufacture things. This is the very first step in becoming an industrialist. And what they did was they made these magical mining machines that made scarcity a thing of the past. It's like taking Bitcoin with 21 million coins and saying, oh, Bitcoin, we're sorry, we're now going to make you 21 quadrillion coins. It's like taking the scarcity that Bitcoin is, that's 21 million coins, and then multiplying it by factors of thousands. And you're in the quadrillions. It's taking the ore and making it unlimited for everyone. You can't step up to me and tell me that you have a natural economy. You don't. You don't. Market demand, supply demand mechanics are broken because of this. Because of this.
Ahead of themselves. I just don't know if they have the player base to support that road.
Don't.
And to me,
They're
I
gone.
could definitely see something being announced within the next year in which Dual Universe has to shut its doors unless something drastically changes now.
They don't have the money because it's got a paywall from the get-go. The subscription model is preventing them from getting the money that they needed to support the gameplay that was already there that they took away. Do you understand why I said that the game is dead? This is why the game is dead. And I can tell Big Fry probably hasn't played Dual Universe, but I have. Years of it. And I can tell you that is what broke this game.
As always, guys, my name is Big Fry, and I'll see you on the next one.
All right, Big Fry. All right, that was decent. That was a decent video. Jesus. When developers do this, it drives me insane because it's a disconnect. It's a legitimate slap in the face to gamers the developers are so far on one side of the spectrum that they're not taking the time to listen to the people that are supporting them, and they deserve to have the game die. They deserve, Nova Quark, you deserve to have your game dead. You're not listening to the people that are playing your game, which, by the way, is only hundreds now. When I said the game was dead, you had thousands. And everybody laughed at me and said, oh, DG, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about, DG. There's still thousands of people that play this game. And I said, I assure you that months from now, that player base will go from thousands to hundreds, and people laughed in my face. They said I didn't know what I was talking about. Where are we at now? Where are we at now? Do I still not know what I'm talking about? You know, people look at me and they see a bald guy that he looks like a meathead. They think I'm a meathead. They think I got low IQ. It's quite the opposite. This is just a disguise so that I can surprise you. I can leap up. I can attack you with my intelligence and my narcissism. And my narcissism, right, Pepe? Right? Yeah, okay.